mother's plea after losing her son following a night out downtown.
Your mama's out there. Hug your babies tight tonight.
The change is already underway following the death of Riley Strain.
And a Christian conference to support Israel canceled. Why workers at one local hotel say they had no choice.
Homeless cases going up. Why, even with $50 million in funding, Nashville's crisis is getting worse. Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
And first on Fox tonight, wicked weather back in the mid-state, but this time it is in the form of strong, very powerful winds.
Well, these pictures show roof damage, trees down out in Lawrence County. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. Fox 17 Code Red Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan is here in studio with what we can now expect for the rest of the week.
As we head through the evening hours tonight, we'll continue to find some scattered showers around. These are some of the reports that we saw this evening from some of those severe thunderstorms. Thankfully, too, the severe thunderstorm watch has been allowed to expire. So now looking at just some general showers and storms, but you can easily see some of these wind reports here and a couple out of the Etheridge area. That's where we had those damage pictures from. Also looking at more storm damage from the Etheridge area, shows a couple barns that have been damaged, as well as multiple trees down. I saw reports stemming all the way into Bedford County as well of multiple trees down, and even a few hail reports as well. So again, it has been a pretty active night for us. The good news is the severe weather threat is over. We're left with some scattered showers that are around as we head through the evening hours tonight, and may even hear a couple rumbles of thunder. We're still seeing that out towards the Tennessee River. Things are quiet here back in Nashville. Our temperature is sitting at about 61 under a mostly cloudy sky. Overnight, we drop back to about 60 for the evening hours. We'll walk you through another chance for showers here on the way for tomorrow, and our active pattern that just continues through the remainder of the week, when we might, though, see a brief break in that rain. Coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
At this point, they're going to be responsible for this violation of the law.
Now, tonight, a Christian ministry scheduled to hold a summit supporting Israel is furious after a Nashville hotel cancels on them.
Well, the Sonesta Nashville Airport Hotel says it had no choice after receiving those threats. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live downtown, where Metro Police say they are now responding. Caitlin.
Yes, well, we reached out to Metro Police, and they say that they did not advocate for the cancellation of this event. Police actually told us that they let the hotel know that they would create a safety and security plan so that they could host this conference. The Sonesta Nashville Airport Hotel was supposed to host a summit with Hohenwald, a Christian ministry to support Israel. Executive General Counsel for First Liberty Institute, Hiram Sasser, says the hotel told Hohenwald that they had to cancel the conference due to threats.
What's happened here is that because of these protesters are protesting the event because it is supporting the Jewish people, for the hotel to cancel that, they're adopting essentially the discriminatory intent of those agitators and protesters.
Sasser adds Sonesta Hotel representatives claimed police told them they should cancel the event. Fox 17 News reached out to the hotel to see if this is true, but we have not heard back. We then reached out to Metro Police, and they say their department did not advocate for the cancellation of the conference. They add equally false claims the police department voiced concerns about people being in physical danger. Metro Police say they told the hotel they would help create a safety and security plan for this event. First Liberty sent this letter to the general manager of the hotel.
At this point, they're going to be responsible for this violation of the law, and they're going to have to be held responsible for all those additional costs and circumstances.
Sasser says the hotel told them they need to investigate and will get back to them. We did see this social media post from Palestine Hura, a pro-Palestine group, urging people to call the hotel to cancel the event. Metro Police say they don't see any threatening language in this post. The group did find a new location to host this event at Ramsey Solutions. They did say they are expecting around 500 people, and they're hoping that this situation does not impact those numbers. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Caitlin, thank you. Continuing coverage tonight as anti-Semitism is on the rise nationwide. Since the Israel-Hamas war started some months back, the Anti-Defamation League reports a 360% increase in incidents from October of last year to January of this year. The group had more than 3,200 separate reports. That includes 56 assaults, 554 acts of vandalism, and more than 1,300 instances of harassment. The Israel-Hamas war is leading to protests for those on both sides of this issue. People demonstrating in Philadelphia today calling for a ceasefire in the conflict. This as pro-Palestinian groups continue to camp out on some college campuses around the country. Today in Chicago, thousands gathered to show support for Israel.
Continuing the high cost of homelessness, 43%. That is how much Metro's numbers show chronic homelessness is up here in Music City. This despite $50 million devoted to addressing the issue. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker shows us what is being blamed for fueling the problem.
In 2022, Metro Council approved $50 million in American Rescue Plan funding. Now, a lot of people thought that this could really help solve the issues surrounding homelessness, especially chronic homelessness. But if you look at the numbers from last year to this year, you'll see that's not really the case. In March 2023, numbers from Metro government show a little more than 1,000 people experienced chronic homelessness in Nashville. But the following year, this number rose 43% to more than 1,400 people.
You just see more and more people, many people coming from either different cities or different camps just around the Nashville area.
Barry Dupnick has been cleaning up homeless encampments for more than a year. Dupnick says he's seen it all from drugs to trash and even human waste.
The city lets them grow to this massive size until it becomes such a hazard and an issue, which they shut them down. Which, if we can combat that to try to nip it in the butt earlier than later.
When we asked the Office of Homeless Services about this increase, the agency sent us a lengthy statement that says in part, addressing homelessness is a complex and multifaceted issue that requires a comprehensive approach.
Let the Office of Homeless Services do their job.
Community advocate Tim Tomes feels there are some nonprofits making things worse, enabling those living in the camps by handing out everything from toiletries to propane tanks for heating.
It wasn't helping them move on to the next level or try to get into housing. It was more about keeping them happy where they were.
This is why Tomes would like to see outside agencies collaborating more with the Office of Homeless Services.
This nonprofit doesn't want it this way. Mayor's office doesn't want it this way. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Look at the money that California has spent. They have spent over $1 billion on their unhoused neighbor issue. It's a bigger mess than it's ever been.
Today, we also reached out to several nonprofit groups to sit down for an interview, but no one was available. Dubnik says he'd like to see more city leaders getting out into the encampments to see how bad they actually are. He'd also like to see more transparency on how that $50 million is being used. This is something that Fox 17 News will be looking into. For now, reporting in Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, the Office of Homeless Services did shut down a few homeless camps across the city. The last one being that, camp out in Hermitage there. That was 5 months ago. And before that, the Office of Homeless Services shut down the camp behind the TA truck stop that was here in downtown to continue the work to make sure that nobody returns. Now, the city also cleared out one of the largest camps back in January of 2023. Brookmead Park remains closed tonight. It is not supposed to reopen until 2025.
In your community tonight, Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell giving his first State of the Metro address today. He delivered that speech out at the Nashville Fairgrounds in front of a WeGo bus, which will figure prominently in his plan for the future.
With his first budget in the hands of Metro Council, Mayor O'Connell is shifting his focus to selling his transit plan. It all hinges on a public vote on a half-cent increase in the sales tax to pay for transit improvements of every kind. And the mayor just got favorable results from an independent audit, clearing the way to ask Metro Council to put this plan on the November ballot.
It's called Choose How You Move, and it's focused on sidewalks, signals, service, and safety.
A key component is 86 miles of sidewalk improvements and bus service that runs all day, every day. It also includes improving 54 miles along the busiest roads in the city to help people get in and out of town.
And the thing that might help us all the most, upgrades to almost 600 traffic signals. 2 of every 3 traffic lights in Nashville to make sure we all hit fewer red lights after Nashville SC games or in our daily commutes.
With revenues flat, the mayor talked about keeping the lights on and concentrating on making the city more attractive for the people who live here. Other improvements he's celebrating include the police department's recent partnership with the mental health co-op, which now includes every precinct in the city.
These co-responder units, where officers are paired with mental health clinicians, have responded to more than 27,000 service calls since launch.
Small steps toward what the mayor hopes is a better Nashville.
Now, Mayor O'Connell also talked about efforts to increase affordable housing, a big need for the city. He says 45% of the homes in Phase 1 of the East Bank development, which amounts to 695 units, will be affordable.
Well, a nationwide mission to make downtown Nashville a safer place. The work already underway following the death of college student Riley Strain.
1953 and 1987. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with an illness, call our team. As a former Marine, I want to help.
Your mama's out there. Hug your babies tight tonight, please.
Well, after the death of University of Missouri student Riley Strain, people in Nashville and nationwide are pushing to make downtown safer. Riley Strain, on a trip with his fraternity, walked out of a downtown bar trying to make it back to his hotel.
Well, it turns out that trip would be his last as Strain somehow wound up in the Cumberland River. Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino tonight with the changes already underway and why this is just the beginning.
He's my best friend. He's everything.
14 days.
We need him back.
Of agony.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
I'm trying to file a missing persons report. We're here on a fraternity formal trip. It's one of my good buddies.
Okay. What is his name?
His name is Riley Strain.
Relentless searching.
We're tired. We're real tired.
And debilitating uncertainty.
He's my baby.
22-year-old Riley Strain was clearly under the influence, according to staffers, when he was escorted out of Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway. The fraternity brothers with him do not follow. Surveillance video exclusively obtained by Fox 17 News shows the unmistakable 6'7" Mizzou senior walking in the wrong direction of his hotel, slamming into a pole, falling to the ground, and then holding his head disoriented.
How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good.
He passes an officer, continuing up Gay Street along the Cumberland River, approaching the James Robertson Parkway Bridge. It's the last place anyone reported seeing Riley or tracking his cell phone. What happens next is still unknown.
Right now, we really are focusing on
bringing Riley home.
Metro Police, volunteer groups, and 71,000 people online joining in the search. MNPD saying Riley's death appears accidental amid strong doubts by his family, including on how the case is being handled.
As the days drag on, we are frustrated.
2 weeks after Riley vanishes, the foreboding finally ends and the overwhelming grief begins.
It looks like a male? Yes, ma'am. I believe it to be Riley.
Riley's remains are pulled from the Cumberland River, a family finding their son in the worst way fathomable.
You've helped us get some closure here and let us take our boy home.
While Riley's parents wait for an autopsy report to determine an official cause of death, Others are reaching out to make sure this never happens again.
When I saw this case with Riley, it was it was very disturbing.
More than 31,000 people signed this petition for a Riley's Act, started by Florida resident Deborah Borza. Her idea requires bars to find a safe ride home for anyone asked to leave for overdrinking. Right now, the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission confirms there are no specific statutes that govern escorting out intoxicated patrons or providing assistance in getting someone home.
It would be mandatory for any person that's disoriented or intoxicated or not themselves to have a safe ride home.
Deborah has already sent the petition to Tennessee legislators. This as Metro Council member Jacob Coupin is pushing for a resolution in Riley's honor for safety improvements along the river, like better fencing, easily accessible surveillance video, cleaning up the dangerous debris, and rehousing homeless people who live there.
Even one situation like Riley's is too many, and we're continuing the work to make that never happen again.
Coupin is also working to get the Red Frogs organization to Nashville.
We want to be that best friend that you never know that you needed and be able to get you home safely.
The group runs tents where people can get water, charge their phones, call for a ride, or simply sober up.
You see these at music festivals. Downtown Nashville kind of becomes like a big music festival every weekend.
Coupin is now in talks as well with Broadway bars on a potential uniform policy in handling people who've had too much.
But what kind of emerged is a gray area where someone maybe is asked to leave a bar. They're not so drunk that they need to be taken into police custody or sent to the hospital, but they're not in a space where they're really safe to go home by themselves.
There'd be possible protocol like asking entire groups to leave instead of just individuals, or directing the intoxicated person to help instead of the sidewalk.
Red Frogs really exists to be, we say, the fence at the top of the cliff, not the ambulance at the bottom.
All ideas that aren't groundbreaking, but would likely have altered Riley's path, one that ended too soon.
I just ask that you mamas out there hug your babies tight tonight, please. Please, for me, just hug your babies tight tonight.
His footprints now being retraced, leading to better safekeeping for so many of us who've been in his shoes as well. Riley's parents are also currently setting up a foundation in his name to help other families navigate the excruciating search process for a missing child or loved one. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Has been a busy day today with more showers and storms. This video coming in from around Shelbyville here, and as a picture in the Normandy area, in fact. And this is a picture of a downburst of wind. So you can see that wind just blowing and blowing, and trees are just bending in the wind there, all coming from a really strong downburst of wind here. So I thought I would take the opportunity to quickly explain what a downburst is. And a lot of times we can get these in these mature thunderstorms here. Sometimes folks can mistake them for a tornado, but it is actually straight line wind. So a storm here, a strong thunderstorm has an updraft with it. All thunderstorms have updrafts and downdrafts. The updraft here is feeding the storm, and it really helps it to mature and strengthen. We get heavy rain, we get hail inside of these thunderstorms. We did have some hail today, but as the updraft begins to weaken, the downdraft will begin to take over. And as it does so, it just creates a full-on downburst of wind. This wind will push all the way down to the ground and then spill out at the bottom. And kind of, if you'd pour a bottle of water under the ground and how it spreads out, kind of gives you the same idea of how this downburst of wind actually happens. In addition to wind today, we also saw quite a bit of heavy rain, anywhere between an inch to almost, in fact, 5 inches in some spots up in southern Kentucky. Did lead to a flash flood warning that has been allowed to cancel in Stewart County. As we head into Wednesday, more showers and storms are expected here, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, our active pattern will continue. In fact, looking at the potential for 1 to 2 inches of rain as we head through the next several days through Saturday here. So temperatures for Wednesday around 68 at 10 o'clock up to about 75. Scattered showers will be the story as we head through the afternoon. We'll walk you through the timing for those showers coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Also, we had more testimony today by former Donald Trump fixer Michael Cohen. The questions from the defense team and the Trump
biscuit with sausage and egg, signature gravy, or country fried steak. And now, enjoy breakfast till noon every day. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
In Operation Crime and Justice, Governor Bill Lee signs a bill into law this week expanding the list of crimes punishable by death. Starting July the 1st, the death penalty is on the table in Tennessee in certain child rape cases. Florida and Idaho have laws like this as well. There are concerns, however, it may not withstand a legal challenge. Back in 2008, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a similar law, calling it unconstitutional.
Well, continuing coverage in the hush money trial of former President Trump. Today, Mr. Trump's defense team to run at his former attorney. Attorneys hammered Michael Cohen and what they call shifting opinions about the former president. They asked how much money he's made speaking out against the former president. Prosecutors say Cohen acted as a go-between for hush money payments to former adult film star Stormy Daniels. Former President Trump maintains that he is innocent.
A scheme allowing crooks to steal your hard-earned money, how they pull it off without attracting suspicion.
And honoring a
shade solutions, spas, and more. Vacation at home sale going on now at Family Leisure.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by B.F. Myers Furniture.
In Operation Crime and Justice, inconspicuous thefts happening so subtly, criminals are getting away with untraditional robberies right under a bank teller's nose. Murfreesboro police say members of a well-rehearsed crime ring targeted area banks and made off with thousands of dollars of victims' money. And you're about to see firsthand how they operate.
Right now, police are looking for this man. They say he's carrying this fake ID from Alabama, pairing up his picture with all of his next victim's personal information. Now watch as he walks right into a Redstone Financial Credit Union in Murfreesboro, where police say he commits fraud and identity theft.
I need $4,200 out of my savings, please.
Okay.
She was working on already. I had to go make sure my Uber driver didn't leave me.
Oh, you're all good. Oh, here, I got your. Oh, wait, you already have the ID back.
Police say this accused unnamed and unknown con man shows no hesitation as he flashes that fake ID and makes his next request.
I have one savings with $8,200, and I wanted to take out $42 out of it.
Yeah, you're good. Is it the one you're talking about? Is a business account? Is that the one you want it from?
I'm not just the savings with $8,200 in it. Yeah, I'm not sure which one I put it under.
Detectives do believe this is part of a bigger crime ring, a crime ring where they're going around taking advantage of unsuspecting victims.
And while this guy is patiently waiting for a payout, he's giving police a good look at his face. Police are looking at this video and gathering leads, believing that he's operating in tandem with a larger fraud ring out of Alabama. Police also link the same activity to a different man seen here, who they say made multiple transactions and fraudulent withdrawals in the last month.
Well, Murfreesboro police say always keep an eye on your accounts because sometimes these criminals will commit tester transactions for smaller amounts to see if that payout in fact goes through. So make sure to promptly report any suspicious activity.
Continuing coverage tonight on Asher Sullivan, the 10-year-old Murfreesboro boy critically injured in last week's flooding. His father, Rutherford County Schools Director Dr. Jimmy Sullivan, continues to post updates daily on social media. He says that Asher had some blood pressure problems today. Father acknowledges his son will never be able to do the things he once did short of a miracle. The family is continuing to ask for prayer. Continuing coverage now on the tornado damage in Murray County. The storm victim there, Cheryl Lovett, will be laid to rest tomorrow. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar shows us how friends and relatives are remembering the woman they call Mama Cheryl.
Her daughter, Brianne Lovett, tells me the best way to help her family during this tough time is to keep the memory of her mother, Cheryl Lovett, alive.
When it hit me, it's just you hit
knees and you ask God why. You have no answers.
Brianne Lovett is still grappling with the loss of her mom, Cheryl Lovett, returning to the same area where she was killed inside her home in last week's tornado.
It's unreal. I was on the back porch. You don't think it's ever going to happen. I'm like, oh, we're just going to get some winds, you know what I mean?
Coming to terms with losing her own home in the tornado, but losing her mom is a hole that might never be filled.
Especially on Mother's Day. Yesterday was a very, very, very hard day. A house can be replaced. Family can't be.
She tells me she was a devoted mother, grandmother, and friend to those who loved her here at Stan's Restaurant, where she worked for 41 years, retiring the same day she was killed.
I've talked to so many people that knew my mom that I didn't even know knew my mom. Customers where she worked at Stan's for 41 years. They loved her. They all loved her.
Her hopes of spending more time with her grandbabies and family shattered in an instant. She tells me what she wants is for Cheryl to be remembered ahead of her funeral tomorrow for who she was.
She was an amazing person. She got to go out not long ago. I've heard a lot of good stories. She was just a fun person. Everybody loved her. Just remember my mom. We all can replace all of this. I don't want anybody to ever forget her. She's an unforgettable person, and just pray for our family.
Cheryl Lovett's funeral is tomorrow morning at the Oaks and Nichols Funeral Home in Columbia. Reporting in the studio, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage of the deadly tornado outbreak last week, Maury County schools will be back in session tomorrow. This as the cleanup efforts continue. Maury County Emergency Management wants everyone in the area to follow certain guidelines, though. The agency reminding people to drive slowly. Debris may still be out on the roadways and to cover all damaged roofs with tarps and only hire licensed contractors.
Well, we continue to track a few showers this evening here. The good news is severe weather we are done with today. We're in the clear for the evening, and a few rumbles of thunder can't be ruled out. We're looking at some patchy showers passing the Tennessee River, and we'll continue to find a few as we go through the next few hours, eventually clearing out as we head into the overnight. But we'll be looking at more rain as we head into Wednesday. So starting off tomorrow morning here, notice that we've got mostly cloudy skies at 7 o'clock in the morning for Clarksville and Nashville. Crossville may be dealing with a few leftover showers from the overnight. We get into the afternoon on Wednesday, we'll have a chance for a few more showers to develop. This is 6 a.m. and again, forecast to right around Crossville, Cookeville for a few showers here. Afternoon hours, a little bit better chance for rain developing for us. A lot of this looks to be along and east of I-65, but can't rule out a few showers even west of 65 up towards Clarksville and Hopkinsville for the early evening. That continues until the sun sets. We'll lose some of that energy, and the area of low pressure that brought us the showers today will clear out for good, leaving us with mainly clear skies for early Thursday morning, which looks to be the best day of the week. We'll talk more about that and more on more rain that's on the way as we head into your weekend. Walking you through the forecast coming up.
Another battle in the trade war between the U.S.
family.
That's right, U.S. Best.
Fox 17 News, Code Red Weather.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens.
In the economy tonight, new import tariffs on electric vehicles and batteries coming in from China.
And as Fox 17 News' Matt Gelka explains, the trade war with China could be a political play.
They're not competing. It's not competition. It's cheating.
Cheap electric vehicles, batteries, chips, and materials coming from China will be hit with new tariffs. The president touted the new fees as a way to build up made in the USA industries, focusing on electric cars that can be built domestically instead of cheaper imports that could hurt American business.
We're never going to allow China to unfairly control the market for these cars, period.
Tariffs on electric vehicles will go from 25% to 100%. Semiconductors and solar cells will double from 25 to 50% tariffs. Some medical supplies will jump to 50% from zero, and some Chinese steel and aluminum will be hit with a 25% tariff. About $18 billion of annual Chinese imported goods will be impacted.
He wants to put a big tariff on China, which is a suggestion that I said, where have you been for 3.5 years? They should have done it a long time ago.
The new fees expand on tariffs Donald Trump put into place in 2018. Then candidate Joe Biden criticized the tariffs when he ran for the White House. Both the president and former president are trying to emphasize domestic production as they head into the November election. China expert Gordon Chang says politics are at play with the announcement of the tariffs now.
It's really good that the U.S. is increasing tariffs on China's green goods. But if President Biden were serious, he would have done this a long time ago. The fact that this is so close to the November election really casts doubts on his motivation.
Tensions were already high with the U.S. and China before the latest tariffs intensified the trade war. China's Commerce Ministry opposed the hikes and said the country would defend its interests before urging the Biden administration to, quote, correct its wrongdoing. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Coming up, talking more about more rain that is on the way over the next few days. We'll walk you through what looks to be a stormy weekend.
I'm Jeff Harris in Washington. Some states are looking to boost security at schools with artificial interior.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I thought it was a good idea.
Visit your Volkswagen dealer today and lease the sporty 2024 Jetta S for just $199 a month.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
Well, tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, the debate over how to better secure our public schools.
Now, some districts in the mid-state and nationwide are turning to artificial intelligence. Fox 17 News' Jeff Harris tonight to show us how that works.
We've seen schools bulk up security and even add police officers to try and prevent the next tragedy. And now some schools across the United States are turning to AI technology to detect weapons before it's too late.
Kivil Stasek has an 8-year-old daughter in public school in New Jersey. She says she would be all in if her daughter's school wanted to boost security with AI.
It's a persistent problem, and we have it on our minds.
In 2019, gun violence in the United States became the leading cause of death among children for the first time ever.
And it would instill a sense of security for me as a parent, that there is a proactive system in place.
For hundreds of schools across the country, that proactive system has been AI technology, and one company called ZeroEyes is leading the charge.
Could we build a technology layer that could help mitigate the next Parkland South shooting?
ZeroEyes uses AI with existing security cameras to identify visible guns, not concealed or in a bag. If verified as a legitimate threat, an alert is sent to the school and local law enforcement within seconds.
I think our software is live across K-12 school districts in at least 35 states right now.
But not everyone is a fan of using AI or has the money to buy it, which is why states like Kansas are looking into establishing grants for schools.
We have a sort of a very focused and dedicated client base and fan base within Kansas that recommended that we go talk to legislatures.
And I would much prefer that my tax dollars do go into funding something like this. Granted that it does work the way we want it to work.
And what Stasek means by that is taking privacy into consideration, something Carol tells us ZeroEyes does. The company doesn't use facial recognition, only weapons detection. The only time a person's face would be recorded is during an active shooter situation. I'm Jeff Harris reporting from Washington.
Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' commitment to exposing problems in our schools and to finding solutions. If you have a story you think we should cover, tell us about it in an email and send that to news@fox17.com, or you can phone our tip line as well, 615-266-4149. Fox 17 News investigates the case of a Tennessee death row inmate in prison for 33 years for a crime a growing number of people are now convinced he didn't commit. Tonight, questions surrounding Gary Sutton's conviction continue to grow from new witnesses in the case, questionable testimony at the time of trial, and now some evidence that's under fire. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier investigates. That is tomorrow on Fox 17 News at 9.
All
right, winding down after a day of showers, Katie.
Yes, yeah, had some strong thunderstorms roll through, reports of some damage, wind damage, and just found out the National Weather Service will actually be down in the Etheridge area, I believe, in Lawrence County to do some surveying.
That area is a magnet. It has been hit so many times over the years.
Yeah, it really has. And so we'll let you know what the survey team finds tomorrow, if it was either straight line wind damage from all the pictures you saw at the top of the show, or if in fact it was a brief tornado that touched down. So we'll have more on that coming in tomorrow. Let's talk about some of these sunsets. We're getting into the later half of spring, and more so closer and closer to summertime here, and that just means we've got that sunshine longer at night here. Sunset tonight was 7:46. June 1st, just before 8 o'clock, and June 20th will be the first day of summer, and the sunset will be around 8:07. So as we head into tomorrow, I did mention some showers that are around. The good news is severe weather is not going to be a problem for us. However, it is going to bring us some pockets of rain. This is at 11 a.m. We'll have a chance for showers from Nashville to Clarksville, Murfreesboro. Also looking at temperatures here right around 70 degrees. And as we head into the later part of the afternoon, you can see that we've got even better chances for rain here. So a lot of these are going to be driven by the afternoon sunshine, which means afternoon, early evening showers. Temperatures stay in those mid-70s, and then as we head into Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, we'll see those numbers drop back here into those low 60s by early Thursday. Thursday is going to be your day to get out and enjoy a nice dry day before more rain arrives. So let's talk about where we could see those showers. This is Thursday at 3. Showers coming in from the west. And as we head through Friday afternoon, watch your timestamp here into the evening hours. I do think we'll have a chance for some thunderstorms. And it looks like right now the better threat for strong thunderstorms will be south of us. I can't completely rule out, though, maybe a strong thunderstorm or so. Right now, Storm Prediction Center hasn't talked about any severe weather, but just the way things are looking, it may be something we need to keep our eye on going into late Friday night, early Saturday. Notice Saturday morning into the afternoon, more showers possible before that clears by Saturday night and into Sunday. We'll continue to keep a stray shower chance around for Sunday, but as it stands right now, I would say you're looking a little better for Sunday for dry weather as opposed to Saturday. Not going to be a washout on Saturday, but slightly drier conditions expected for Sunday at this time. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. You can see rain chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, a lot of that will come Friday afternoon, evening into the overnight. Then some scattered to isolated storms by the afternoon on Saturday, with a few thunderstorms possible Sunday. Highs also climbing into the low to mid 80s as we head into the weekend as well.
Just ahead, controversy surrounding a stop on Taylor Swift's Eras tour. The questionable behavior by a fan.
Hey there, hope you're having a great night. I'm Jennifer Waddell from Fox 17 News this morning. May is National Speech Language Hearing Month, and medical experts are now sounding off, saying that millions of Americans are suffering from untreated hearing loss. And they say
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by U.S. Pest Protection. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
In consumer news, inflation is driving up the price of wholesale goods. New numbers show the price manufacturers paid their suppliers is now the highest it has been in a year. This could impact the Federal Reserve's plans to further cut interest rates. Another report due out tomorrow could offer a better picture of inflation.
Well, this is trending right now. A lot of people have opinions on this. A picture of a baby on the ground at a Taylor Swift concert, sparking worldwide debate. Now it asks the question, should parents bring infants or small children to concerts? The picture off on social media just took off. And while some defended the parents' decision, others say that loud concerts with thousands of people could really be dangerous. The child was wearing noise-canceling headphones, but doctors warn children have smaller ear canals, and those headphones do not cancel everything. So we want to know what you think. Should babies or young children be allowed at concerts? We've had getting close to 400 votes come in on this. 75.3% of respondents say no. 24.7% say yes. This poll is live right now, so still time to cast your vote. You can scan that QR code right there on the right hand of your screen. It will take you to our X page, Fox Nashville.
Just ahead, Dolly Madison, not the only Dolly in the pastry business. We'll tell you how Dolly Parton is getting involved.
And now, for a limited time, get a free adjustable base with any mattress purchase, or save up to $800 on select adjustable mattress sets, including the all-new Tempur-Adapt. For better sleep and savings, shop Ashley today.
Hey, check this out. A different and delicious way to celebrate music and Tennessee legend Dolly Parton.
That's right. Krispy Kreme now offering 4 Dolly Parton-inspired donuts. The offerings include the Dolly Dazzler, which includes a glazed donut covered in strawberry icing, yum, peachy keen cobbler filled with a peach filling, banana pudding and unglazed donut filled with banana pudding, and chocolate cream pie, which is a glazed donut with chocolate cream and vanilla whipped topping. And I'm just assuming that if you saw the calorie count, you'd say, I can't possibly do that. I'm just guessing. What do y'all think?
That's a lot on a donut.
Yeah. You know, you've made it when they've run out of hats and t-shirts and merchandise, and you got to move on to donuts.
Moved on to food, yes.
Sounds good. All right.
Yeah, it does.
Brand new numbers giving us a snapshot of the U.S. economy. I'm Christine Frizzell with what they're already telling us about interest rates in the months ahead.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
Well, severe storms popping up earlier tonight, causing major damage in and around Lawrenceburg.
Now, these pictures show some of the damage. There were damaged barns, destroyed barns, roofs that were ripped up, some toppled trees in a lot of areas. See a garage door knocked in there as it moved through. Katie, we seem snake bit. I mean, just almost every time you turn around, another powerful storm doing more damage.
Yeah, and it looks like the National Weather Service is going to go out tomorrow and survey some of the damage in around there in Etheridge area. In fact, I went back and looked on radar, and it did look like there might have been a very small couplet that means rotation, where possible brief tornado touchdown.
You got to think that's what they're thinking, or they wouldn't be going down to survey.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what they're doing too. Yeah, they'll look at radar data, and then they see damage pictures, and that's when they'll go down and survey the damage, and we'll know more tomorrow on what happened down there in Lawrence County. Tonight, though, it has been pretty busy. A lot of showers and thunderstorms around. Wind was the big story, and the good news is severe weather threat has canceled for the evening. We're still going to be looking at some scattered showers. These will be non-severe as we go through the evening hours tonight, and things will be looking pleasant for this evening here. Things pretty quiet downtown. Our temperature sitting right around 62 degrees with a mostly cloudy sky, and lows tonight dropping down to around 60 here in Nashville and surrounding locations. So we'll start right around 60, but keep skies mostly cloudy for much of the day. It will introduce some showers as we head more into the afternoon hours for Wednesday. We'll walk you through the timing for that coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
And what's happened here is that because of these protesters are protesting the event because it is supporting the Jewish people.
New tonight, a Christian ministry scheduled to hold a summit supporting Israel is upset after a Nashville hotel canceled on them.
That's right. The Sonesta Nashville Airport Hotel says they had serious safety concerns. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller live downtown where Metro Police are now responding to, I guess, the concerns the hotel had.
Yes, Scott, Megan, Metro Police say that they are aware that the Sonesta Hotel is receiving messages urging them not to host this event, but they say that they don't find these messages threatening. Now, the Sonesta Nashville Airport Hotel was supposed to host a summit with Hohenwald, a Christian ministry to support Israel. Executive General Counsel for First Liberty Institute, Hiram Sasser, says the hotel told Hohenwald they had to cancel the conference due to threats. Sasser adds Sonesta Hotel representatives claim that police told them that they should cancel this event. Fox 17 News reached out to the hotel to see if this is true, but we have not heard back yet. We then reached out to Metro Police, and they say their department did not advocate for the cancellation of this conference.
There's just a lot of hate directed towards the Jewish people and hate directed towards anybody who likes or supports Israel or the Jewish people. And that's the kind of thing that we're trying to contend with right now.
Metro Police say they told the hotel that they would help create a safety and security plan for the event. Well, the group did find a new place to host this event, and they say it's now going to be taking place at Ramsey Solutions, and this event will begin on Monday. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Caitlin. Well, in the high cost of homelessness, Nashville's homeless problem getting bigger. New government data shows a 43% increase in chronic homelessness, despite a $50 million investment to tackle the issue. In March of 2023, about 1,000 people experienced chronic homelessness in Nashville. A year later, that number sits at over 1,400. It's about a 43% increase. Community advocate Barry Dunapik, who spent the last year cleaning up encampments citywide, says he's seen everything from drugs to human waste.
To be honest, the city lets them grow to this massive size until it becomes such a hazard and an issue, which they shut them down. Which, if we can combat that to try to nip it in the butt earlier than later, that's what I'm trying to help prevent larger issues in the future.
Well, in response to the increase in numbers, the Office of Homeless Services sent Fox 17 News a statement that reads in part, addressing homelessness is a complex and multifaceted issue that requires a comprehensive approach.
Fox 17 News investigates the case of a Tennessee death row inmate that a growing number of people are convinced is wrongly imprisoned. Tonight, questions surrounding this man, Gary Sutton's 33-year-old conviction, continue to grow from witnesses in the original case to questionable testimony and now some evidence in the case that's under fire. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier investigates tomorrow right here on Fox 17 News at 9.
Now to Operation Crime and Justice, Governor Bill Lee quietly signing into law a plan to allow the death penalty for some people convicted of raping a child. Lee signed that bill last week without issuing a statement. There are concerns that the U.S. Supreme Court could rule the law unconstitutional. As of right now, though, it goes into effect July 1st.
Brand new numbers giving us...
Condescending, do you?
Well...
Oh, I'm sorry. Condescending...
I know what it means!
Mansplaining is when a man explains things to a woman like she's stupid.
Boop. Tomorrow at 6 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Homebuyers.
In the economy, new numbers could give us an indication of what we can expect from America's economy as we head into summer.
And as Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell reports, the Producer Price Index for the month of April shows a 0.5 percentage point rise, cost likely to be passed on to the U.S.
It's a game of numbers. No one seems to be winning. The brand new Producer Price Index, which shows how much manufacturers pay their suppliers, just hit its highest rate in a year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
And what this indicates is that a lot of the progress that we've seen in slowing inflation, that stalled in early 2024.
Known as wholesale inflation, the April rate rose 2.2%, with costs expected to be passed on to consumers in the months ahead, following 3 months of less than ideal numbers.
We did not expect this to be a smooth road, but these were higher than I think anybody expected.
Speaking in Amsterdam, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell signaled the waiting game for interest rates to be cut will likely go on even longer.
I don't think that it's likely, based on the data that we have, that the next move that we make would be a rate hike. I think it's more likely that we'll be at a place where we hold the policy rate where it is.
Words like sticky and stubborn, now common ways to characterize what's known as services inflation with what we pay for things like medical care, car repairs, and travel. Another worrying sign is what Americans owe on housing and non-housing expenses, known as household debt, which has been on a steady climb, just reaching $17.7 trillion. The labor market is still incredibly tight with a shortage of workers, but many of those who are working still struggle to make ends meet.
The cost of living in many areas is very high, and it is a concern to Americans, and it is President Biden's top priority to do all he can to bring down the cost of living.
We will have an even clearer picture of inflation on Wednesday with the release of the Consumer Price Index, which is what U.S. consumers pay for everyday goods and services. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Continuing coverage now on former President Donald Trump's New York hush money trial. Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen was back on the witness stand today in Manhattan. During cross-examination, Cohen was pressed about his falling out with the former president and the money that he has made by speaking out against him. Mr. Trump's lawyers also attacked Cohen's credibility, pointing out he has been disbarred and has spent time in prison. Meanwhile, the former president continues to argue the judge's gag order violates his constitutional rights.
The Republican nominee for president, I'm leading in every poll, and I have a gag order. So I think it's totally unconstitutional, and we'll test that. This will be tested.
Now, Cohen is the prosecution's final witness. The former president has not yet said whether he intends to testify when the defense in this case presents its side of the story.
I'm Kayla Gaskins in Washington. Coming up, we take a look at where the U.S. stands on youth transgender care as Europe hits the pause button.
$1 off per gallon at the pump. Kroger is worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
Well, another sign price pressures within the economy remain elevated and difficult to tame. The Labor Department's Producer Price Index measures inflation at the wholesale level before it reaches consumers. It rose 0.5% in April from the previous month. On an annual basis, prices remain up 2.2%. That's the highest level since April 2023.
Companies are going to have quite a challenging time as these input costs continue to go up, and companies find that consumers just say, look, I can't do this anymore.
Red Lobster reportedly closing at least 48 of its locations across the country. Stores in Orlando, Jacksonville, Buffalo, all now listed as temporarily closed on the company's website. Workers in Sacramento claiming they received no notice of the closures. Bloomberg reporting the chain is considering filing for bankruptcy and searching for a buyer as it struggles to keep up with rent and labor costs. And GameStop and AMC shares both skyrocketing after both jumped more than 70% before close on Monday. This comes after meme stock trader Keith Gill, also known as Roaring Kitty, posted his first meme in 3 years on X. Gill is the man who's credited with sparking the GameStop stock craze during the pandemic. In New York, Kelly O'Grady, Fox Business. Well, earlier in the newscast, we told you about our X poll up and running right now, asking the question, should babies and young children be allowed at concerts after an infant was spotted on the Taylor Swift tour? So we've had about 400 people weighing in here, and most people are in agreement. 76.3% of respondents say no, they should not be allowed at concerts, compared to 23.7% that say yes. Each night, look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can participate in. In your health news tonight, transgender medical care, especially for minors, remains one of the most controversial topics in the medical field today.
As Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins shows us, some countries are hitting the pause button as they wait for more information, more evidence on the long-term impacts.
There's a shift underway in Europe to restrict medical gender-affirming care for children and teens. England and Scotland joining Finland, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, drastically limiting things like puberty blockers as concerns mount over the effectiveness, safety, and long-term impacts of these often irreversible treatments. As Europe pumps the brakes, America still pushing full steam ahead. The Daily Caller Foundation digging into pediatric transgender care in the U.S., obtaining 30 hours of training videos from WPATH, the leading entity doctors look to for guidance on trans care.
I think it's important that people understand
how influential an organization like WPATH is. WPATH is such a significant influence all the way down to your local pediatrician's office.
The training videos include acknowledgments about negative side effects of treatments.
We talk about puberty suppression as reversible, okay? I'm adding an asterisk to it. There's challenges with puberty suppression that we have to acknowledge.
There was several doctors who spoke about some of the unknowns around giving kids puberty blockers, such as the impact on brain development, the impact on fertility, the potential impact on a loss of bone density.
Videos also include a downplaying for evidence-based data when it comes to transgender care.
Evidence is one part of this, but also there's an ethical human rights component to treating people, right? We don't rely on evidence for every single treatment we do in medicine.
Some doctors seem to brush off the seriousness of these treatments when discussing consent of those with mental health struggles. One doctor compared gender reassignment to getting wisdom teeth pulled.
I would probably frame it, are they mentally stable to go for wisdom tooth extraction right now? Like
no, that's very helpful. The idea of
an elective surgery.
In response to the UK pausing gender care for minors, WPATH issuing a statement calling the data they base their decision on outdated and untrue. But the lead doctor on the UK report now says it's actually US doctors who are out of date on youth gender medicine. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Well, continuing coverage as 8 TikTok content creators are suing the U.S. government over a law that could force a nationwide ban on the popular app. President Biden signing that legislation last month, which gives the app's Chinese parent company 9 months to sell, or it will be restricted from U.S. app stores. It comes amid concerns that China could use the app to collect user data for espionage operations. The lawsuit argues the measure violates users' First Amendment rights to free speech. It follows a similar lawsuit filed by TikTok and ByteDance last week. Well, the 8 content creators represent a range of backgrounds and professions and have millions of followers between them.
Has been a busy night tonight. The good news is, although we will continue to see some rain around, the chance for severe weather has come and gone. Things looking pretty quiet, fairly quiet down on Broadway on this Tuesday night, and from our Metro Center camera, we are looking good as well. Can't rule out a few showers though through the evening hours. Beautiful picture though from Brentwood. This coming from Sherry Cranford of a gorgeous rainbow after the stormy clouds and rain that came through earlier this evening. Nice picture there. Love seeing too the full rainbow effect. Very cool. More showers on the way for Wednesday. Thursday is going to be your day if you want to get out and do something that requires drier weather. It's the only dry day that we're going to see, at least for this week. As we head into the weekend, more chances for rain. So tomorrow, pop-up showers around. These will be non-severe. We do dry out for Thursday, and then more showers expected to arrive for Friday into Saturday and Sunday also. In total here, as we look between now and Saturday, anywhere between 1 to 2 inches of additional rain is possible. So we'll continue to see pretty saturated ground. A lot of this is going to come though for Friday into Saturday with our next bigger chance for showers and storms. Tomorrow's is going to be spotty around the area. We'll see those showers around, but again, shouldn't be severe and should be widely scattered here. Temperatures around 68. A chance will exist all day. Doesn't mean it's going to be raining all day, but pop-up showers really for the day on Wednesday. Temperature hovering in those mid to upper 70s. So let's walk you through the overnight into tomorrow morning. You can see that we've got cloudy skies, a few showers to the east in the morning hours. As we get into the afternoon, you can see more rain showers starting to pop up, and that'll continue to be the story as we head into the later part of the day. Here's 5 p.m. and then into Wednesday night, early Thursday, finally beginning to dry out with sunshine expected for the day on Thursday. So chance for showers tonight. Can't rule out a few rumbles of thunder, but the good news is our severe weather threat is over for this evening. Into tomorrow, we should be around 78 or so non-severe showers and storms around for us as we head through the afternoon. And next couple of days will remain in those low 80s. We head into the mid 80s for the weekend and looking to hopefully dry out for the beginning of next week.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
This week in short-lived tornado surprised everyone when it appeared yesterday afternoon at a golf course in Branson, Missouri. It touched down before any warning was issued. No injuries were reported. And this is an Arcus cloud, better known as a roll cloud, in Destin, Florida. They are relatively rare and often associated with a thunderstorm's gust front.
Listen to Off the Radar, new episodes every Tuesday. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
And you can see more weather stories like this weekday mornings on the National Weather Desk starting at 8 a.m. on our sister station, MyTV.
40 2024 Jetta S for just $199 a month.
I don't buy it.
Judge Judy.
Weekdays at 4 on Fox 17.
Tonight, more women are working now than at any time in our nation's history.
And Fox 17 News' Janae Bowens has a closer look at the trend.
Women are really boosting our economy.
The most recent jobs report was a win for women in the workforce.
75.5% of women ages 25 to 54 have a job. That's the highest average on record. And there's a few reasons why.
Over the last 2 decades, the share of prime-age women with a college degree has risen significantly.
Financial necessity. It's hard to run a household with one income anymore. And women just like to have something to do besides raise a family.
Thanks to remote and hybrid work, women, especially working moms, have more options.
While women still take on the majority of caregiving responsibilities, college-educated women are more likely to stay in the workforce after having a child than compared to 20 years ago.
Despite the growth, there are still a few barriers. Some women are only able to work part-time because of high childcare costs.
People are having to rely on neighbors, almost like daycare co-ops, other family members, their spouse, their partner, and they're having to patch together childcare.
Experts say more companies are considering on-site childcare to help.
Employers are starting to realize that if we don't cater to women and give women what they need, they won't come, or they won't come and stay. And with the labor force participation of men dropping, you immediately limit your talent pool.
As more women are working, more men aren't working. Physical and mental health issues play a huge role in that decrease. I'm Janae Bowens reporting.
Little motivation today if you're trying to change a health habit. I'm Liz Bonus. Meet a woman who says her faith made all the difference. It is just ahead.
Hey there, hope you're having a great night. I'm Jennifer Waddell from Fox 17 News this morning. May is National Speech Language Hearing Month. And medical experts are now sounding off, saying that millions of Americans are suffering from untreated hearing loss. And they say this could be leading to other health problems. So Wednesday on Fox 17 News this morning, we'll dive into that story. I hope you'll join us starting at 4 a.m.
That financially. Oh, it's bad, because it was hard on the kids. It was hard on everybody. The sooner you call a lawyer, like I called Bart Durham, the better.
In your health news tonight, a possible way to improve your health or even break a bad habit.
As Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus shows us, a recent report says your faith may help in healing.
Hey there, everybody. A recent report from the National Institutes of Health shows you can maintain well-being by putting faith into practice. Those who've done this say it really makes a difference in even the small stuff, such as our health habits.
Casey Bryant, a wife, mother, and pastor of Kentucky's Florence Crossroads Church, says there's something about surrender to the God you believe in, even when it comes to everyday health choices. In her case, it was snacking.
I just very simply just ask him. I say, God, I'm just handing everything over to you. I'm handing over my concerns, especially my concerns with my weight.
This NIH report, which looked at maintaining well-being in the pandemic, says the very act of having any faith and putting it into practice can keep you from getting sick. It also reduces anxiety and fear, which may be the very thing driving you to a hard habit to break. For Casey, that meant finding time to fit in fitness and asking for very specific support to maintain healthy eating habits. Her prayer?
God, I just ask that you come into it. Help me to not want to eat chips and dip. I mean, as simple as that sounds, I literally have to say, just help me not crave those things. Help me get motivated to work out. And it's just a simple prayer like that.
The NIH report backs up what Casey also found to be true. Closeness to something spiritual frees up a part of the brain you likely need for physical wellness.
When we're able to surrender our wants and our needs over to God, it gives us freedom, and he shows up in some incredible ways.
This busy mom said it's made a healthy difference in just 5 months.
I have lost 11 pounds.
Her advice now, let go. And you might be surprised how something divine really can help you sweat the small stuff. Casey's services are online nationwide if you'd like to hear more of her inspiration. She also says any health journey takes time, so it's okay to ask for patience too. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Gonna see some showers tomorrow. Shouldn't be severe though, that's good.
Yep.
Gonna be one of those days. We'll take a look. Showers around as we head through the afternoon hours. They kind of perk up as we head into the later part of the afternoon. Highs in the upper 70s to low 80s for Thursday and Friday, and looks like our stormy pattern will continue as we head into Friday and into the weekend as well.
Tell me, with all the rain we've had of late, that we're like even, at least from the year